Hello guys, welcome to the this video in which we are going to discuss the key features of the budget 2026-27. You know very well, yesterday the Honorable Finance Minister of our country, Nirmala Sitharaman, she has presented the budget for the record 9th time. Okay, I think you have followed the budget speech. And along with that, now we will try and see the key features or important features of the budget. Okay, for your information, this document is also available in the website of indiabudget.gov.in. You can go and refer to the document also. However, I'll try to bring in as many points as possible so that this can be useful to you. Okay, right. If you see the India's trajectory, this is what they have discussed in the beginning. You see the India's economic trajectory has been Viksit Bharat, balancing ambition with inclusion. You can say this is the bottom line of our budget or the combined goal of our budget. Viksit Bharat, balancing ambition with inclusion. Okay, there is ambition on one side and we are balancing that with inclusion. Okay, social, economic, and all inclusions, political inclusion. Okay, so it has three dimensions to it. That is action over ambivalence, means the government has put action first over ambivalence, then reform over rhetoric. Always there will be rhetoric in the governance, but the government has gave importance to reforming the systems, reforming the economy, reforming the polity over rhetoric. And government also choose people over populism. Yes, populism can be there, that's playing to the gallery, but instead of that, government has chosen the people and not the gallery. Okay, means people have become the center. It's not that saying few things and not following them only for the sake of saying. The government is not saying that. Okay, so these are the three dimensions to this Viksit Bharat, balancing ambition with inclusion. Okay, if you see the aim of this budget, or for that matter the aim of the government is to transform aspiration into achievement. This is the first aim, and the second one is potential to performance. Yes, of course, lot of potential is there in our country. Maybe hitherto we were unable to utilize that potential. Now the government is saying that one of our aims is to convert this potential into actual performance. And what is the first aim or first goal? It's transforming the aspiration into achievement. Yes, we are also, as UPSC aspirants, we have a lot of aspirations, but it takes effort to convert that aspiration into achievement. So indirectly what the government is saying, they are taking action and they are putting in effort to convert this aspiration into achievement. Okay, so four areas are going to be targeted in achieving these aims or goals. Those four areas are, or they are going to act as the backbone for the government in achieving these goals or aims. Those are stability, okay, political stability, economic stability, social stability, all these stabilities. Then fiscal disciplines, means not too much venturing into public expenditure, not uncontrolled public expenditure. The government is going to maintain fiscal discipline. Okay, then sustained growth, the government focuses on continuing the growth trajectory. Okay, not only we are growing at a healthy rate, but that has to be sustained, or that is government is putting an effort to make it a sustained growth. Means in the medium term and long term also the government wants to maintain that growth rate. Okay, the next one is moderate inflation. Another base is going to be moderate inflation. So the government wants to keep the inflation at a desirable level. Okay, right. So these are the four bases, and the government wants to achieve a high growth rate of around 7%. The economic survey has also predicted the same 7% growth rate in the medium term, maybe in the coming 5 to 10 years. The government has also targeted the same. The economic survey has also reiterated the same. So how this high growth rate of 7% is going to be achieved and maintained? It will be done by increasing or improving the domestic manufacturing capacity. You know very well our manufacturing capacity is hovering around 17 to 18% of the GDP, means contribution of manufacturing to the total GDP is somewhere around 17 to 18%. So increasing it means it has to go desirably up to 25% of the GDP. Okay, so domestic manufacturing capacity, that is going to be increased. Energy security, achieving energy security by making our energy sources stable or addressing the lacuna that are there in energy supplies. Then by reducing critical important dependence. Okay, so whatever the critical import dependence, you see, for several critical things we are importing, we are depending on somebody else, means we are getting those things from the other countries. For example, one example I want to take here, you see, we are leaders in medicine production, generic medicines, especially drugs and pharmaceuticals. We are a leader, but the critical component that will be there in the medicine, that is active pharmaceutical ingredient, API, okay, which is the actual complex that actually treats the disease or symptom. These all APIs are being imported still from China. Okay, and we are importing these APIs, and here we are manufacturing the actual drugs and medicine, and then we are utilizing in our own country, and we are also exporting to other countries. So in this way, not only just APIs, one example I have taken, several other things are there, like critical rare earth minerals, then solar modules to produce these solar batteries or these solar panels. All these critical components are there. We want to reduce our import dependence on these critical things or equipments, whatever you want to call them. Those we want to reduce our dependence on imports with respect to critical areas. Then far-reaching structural reforms we want to take up, or the government wants to take up. Okay. Then the government wants to achieve and maintain fiscal prudence. Once again, fiscal prudence means fiscal discipline, keeping all the fundamentals intact, like fiscal deficit, okay, inflation under control, fiscal deficit under desirable range, keeping the public debt under control. These things. In this way, the government wants to maintain the fiscal prudence. Then government also wants to maintain monetary stability. Okay, controlling the supply of money in the market. Then strong thrust on public investment, in other words, government investment, government emphasizing on saying that it on its own it will put in lot of investment for infrastructure building, etc. Then citizens are being benefited from government actions. Okay, through all these actions, the government wants to achieve the growth rate of around 7%. Okay, right. Then the budget, if you see, the Honorable Finance Minister said this is a Yuva Shakti driven budget, means it's powered by youth, and government has a sankalp, means a determination. What is the determination of the budget? To focus on poor, underprivileged and disadvantaged sections of the society. This is the sankalp or determination of the government. What is it? Once again we will see, to focus on the poor, underprivileged and disadvantaged sections of the society. Okay, so in determining this sankalpa or realizing this goal or sankalpa or determination, three kartavyas are there. Means the government wants to achieve three things. Okay, what are those? First one is accelerate and sustain economic growth. That is the first thing. You see, everywhere if you want to really achieve development, the first and compulsory aspect is going to be accelerating and maintaining or sustaining the economic growth. It is the beginning point or the first point, but it is not the only point for achieving the goal. Okay, means it is a necessary condition, but it is not the only condition. Okay, so accelerate and sustain economic growth, that is the first kartavya. Second one is fulfill aspirations of our people. You see, our people have a lot of aspirations, goals and ambitions, and fulfilling them is the second kartavya or responsibility of the government. Third one is vision of sabka saath, sabka vikas. Okay, so this goal is not new, or this kartavya is not new. It's there from the beginning of this government. Sabka saath, sabka vikas. This goal is there from the beginning. That is the third kartavya of the government. Okay. So in first kartavya, what are the sub-components the government is focusing on? The government is focusing on enhancing productivity and the competitiveness of our economy. Second thing, building resilience to volatile global dynamics. You see, a lot of volatility is there across the globe. China, Russia, Ukraine war. Okay. Trump, radical economic decisions. In this way, lot of volatility is there. In that background, we want to achieve resilience. That is the first kartavya, and through these things, we are going to accelerate and sustain economic growth. And if you see the second kartavya, fulfill aspirations of our people. This the government wants to achieve by building both people's capacity building of the people. Then giving them choices and freedoms, and also by making them strong strong partners in India's path to prosperity. So government wants to make the people strong partners in the path to prosperity. You see, people are not going to be the passive recipients of the benefits doled out by the government. The government wants to make them as active partners or active participants in the growth trajectory, growth process, and that's how combinedly the government wants to lead the people towards prosperity. Okay. Then if you come to the third kartavya, it's a vision of sabka saath, sabka vikas. This can be, this will ensure that every family, community, region and sector has access to resources, amenities and opportunities for meaningful participation. It's nothing but, in other words, they are saying it's going to be inclusive growth or inclusive development. Okay, that is what the government wants to achieve. Okay, so this is the sankalpa of the government. Then there is a roadmap for this. What is the roadmap? The roadmap goes like this. How it goes? There is going to be sustained momentum of structural reforms. Okay, that will lead to continuous, adaptive and forward. That is going to be continuous, adaptive and forward-looking. Whatever the sustaining momentum of structural reforms is there. Then that will lead to robust and resilient financial sector. How that will be achieved? That will be achieved by mobilizing savings, allocating capital efficiency, and managing risks. Okay, and that will lead to cutting edge technologies, including AI applications. Okay, and how that will be achieved? That will be achieved by that will result in force multipliers for better governance. Okay, all these things are going to become the force multipliers for better governance. Okay. Then the budget has also depicted the reform express of India. Okay, how the reforms were taken up and how speed they are traveling. You see, government has undertaken comprehensive economic reforms towards creating employment, boosting productivity and accelerating the growth. Okay, we have seen over the years some reforms have been taken, especially in the domain of economic segment. Several reforms have been taken. Okay, so they aimed towards creating employment, boosting productivity and accelerating the growth. Okay, so until now over 350 reforms have been rolled out, including GST simplification, notification of labor codes, notification of 4 labor codes. Just recently they have come into force, and detailed guidelines have been issued under labor codes, and rationalization of mandatory quality control orders. Okay, these were the reforms, major reforms among these 350 reforms. Okay, then in several domains high level committees have been appointed or formed. Then central government is working with the state governments on deregulation and reducing the compliance requirements, especially for the industry. Okay, So these are all the efforts done by government as part of reforming the economy, especially to bring in the structural reforms in the economy. Okay, right. You see, for achieving the growth, the government has decided that there are going to be 6 pillars, or 6 pillars are there in our growth and development. So the 6 pillars are sustaining economic growth, that is the first pillar. Second is going to be strengthening the foundations of growth. We have to further strengthen the foundations. You see, when foundations are strong, then we can do many other things. If the foundation is weak, we cannot. The growth will not be sustained. That is the problem. So strengthening the foundations of growth is the second pillar. Third one is going to be people-centric development. Means development is going to be hovering around or centered around the people. That's going to be the third goal, third pillar. Fourth one is trust-based governance. Okay, there will be trust in the governance. Okay. Fifth one will be ease of doing business and ease of living. Not just ease of doing business, but also ease of living, especially for the people. Okay. Then fiscal matters. Okay, this is going to be the sixth pillar. Okay, means we are going to take some reforms in the fiscal arena also. So these things will work as the pillars for our growth and development. Okay. So in detail, one by one, we are going to discuss them. Okay, as the finance minister also explained and discussed in her speech. So first one, we will take sustaining the economic growth. How we are going to do that? First, by focusing on manufacturing, strategic and frontier sectors. By focusing on these sectors, we are going to sustain the economic growth. So how we are going to do that? As you might have heard, the Honorable Finance Minister has announced the India Semiconductor Mission, IMS 2.0. 1.0 was there. Now she has announced India Semiconductor Mission 2.0. Okay. Then she has also announced Biopharma Shakti. She wants to make our country, or the government wants to make our country the capital of biopharma of the world. Already we are there in pharmaceutical productions. Further, by announcing this scheme, by bringing this initiative, further the government wants to enable our country to really become the global leader in biopharma. You see, why semiconductor mission? You see, design and production of semiconductors is not there in our country. With the ISM 1.0, we tried to do that. It has given some results, but the results are not that big that we can celebrate about them. So still we have to do a lot with respect to production, design and production of semiconductors. That's why the 2.0's India Semiconductor Mission has been announced. Okay. Then other area we are going to focus is high-tech tool rooms in central public sector enterprises. You know very well, in our CPSCs the technology is obsoleting. Okay, it has become old. So the government wants to induce new technology into the CPSCs and wants to make them as engines of growth. Okay, so that is going to be the other area the government will be focusing on. Then other initiative is scheme for container manufacturing. You know how this shipping and transportation holds importance to a country which has a lot of ambitions for growth. So in that effort only, the government has started a scheme for container manufacturing in the country. Once upon a time we were known for shipbuilding and having lot of share in the global trade, but unfortunately it now has come to 1% of the total global trade. So once again we want to reignite this zeal for building the ships, taking them to open seas, and also manufacture the containers so that goods can be transported through these containers and ships. Okay. Then another program that was initiated is integrated program for textiles. You know very well, apart from agriculture, textiles is also one of the important segments of our country. Textiles as a whole is the second largest employer of the people after agriculture sector. Traditionally we are very strong in it. Unfortunately it is also weakening because of the competition and new technologies that are coming up. Our cotton textile industry is not withstanding that competition. So to address those issues, integrated program for textiles has been initiated, in which the modern textiles like sports textiles, synthetic textiles, those are going to be focused. and we will try and take advantage of those things. Then other area that was focused is electronics components and manufacturing scheme. You know very well, almost all the electronics we are importing. Only for the namesake we have 1-2 companies. Otherwise, most of the electronics are imported to our country, just like the semiconductors. So we want to avoid that. We want to produce electronics in our own country, and if possible, we want to export some of those electronics to other countries also, and we want to tap that market. With that goal, electronics components manufacturing scheme has also been announced in the budget. Then strengthening, other area that was focused is strengthening domestic manufacturing of high value, technologically advanced construction and infrastructure development. So you know very well, for anything, infrastructure is very essential. Without infrastructure, we cannot achieve, or we cannot become a manufacturing house. So that's why the domestic strengthening, the government wants to strengthen domestic manufacturing of high value and technologically advanced construction and infrastructure development, so that the advantage can be taken on that infrastructure. The other goods can be manufactured and consumed within India and also be exported. Okay. Then another scheme was announced to revive 200 legacy industrial clusters, which is also very important and good initiatives, to revive 200 legacy industrial clusters. Then other initiative is dedicated manufacturing of affordable sports goods. You know very well, sports is an emerging arena. The sports goods are in lot of demand. So there is going to be a dedicated initiative for manufacturing of these affordable sports goods. Then other initiative is 3 dedicated chemical parks, enhancing the domestic production of chemicals in our country. Okay. Then scheme for rare earth metals. You know very well, in all these emerging technologies like solar panels, integrated chips or semiconductors, etc., the rare earth metals are already playing an important role. You know very well, China has achieved this stronghold over the rare earth metals. We can say it has acquired a monopoly. Okay, almost if you take the entire world, only 3 to 4 countries have this reserves of rare earth metals. In all those countries, China has directly and indirectly achieved its control. So the rare earth metals production, distribution, everything is in the hands of China. So we want to come out of that. So for that reason, a scheme for rare earth and earth permanent magnets. Then research, mining and processing and manufacturing has been announced by the Honorable Finance Minister. Okay, so these are the initiatives that were announced as part of manufacturing for achieving strategic and frontier and focused on strategic and frontier sectors. Okay, this is one component in sustaining the economic growth by focusing on manufacturing, right? Along with that, some tax reforms are also announced for boosting the manufacturing sector. Those are exemption from income tax for 5 years to non-residents providing capital goods, equipment or tooling to any tool manufacturer in a bonded zone. This is the one initiative. Second one is provision of state harbor to non-residents for component warehousing in a bonded warehouse. This is the second role, tax incentive. Third one is deferred duty payment window to trusted manufacturers. Then increase the limit of duty-free imports of specified inputs used for processing seafood products for export from the current 1% to 3% of the FOB value of the previous year's export turnover. Okay. Then another incentive is duty-free imports of specified inputs extended to export the shoe uppers in addition to leather or synthetic footwear. In this way, many tax incentives were given for the manufacturing sector. Exemption from basic customs duty on specified parts used in the manufacture of microwave ovens. So in this way, some minor and major tax concessions for the manufacturing sector are given. You just try and go through all of the tax incentives. Okay. Then within the manufacturing, the MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, play a critical role. So some initiatives were announced in the budget towards them also. So three-pronged approach to help MSMEs grow as champions. You see, many of the MSMEs are remaining as MSMEs because there are some incentives. So now the government wants that they come out of that category and they grow as champions. The MSMEs grow bigger and they will become medium level or large level enterprises. For that, three-pronged approach has been announced. So first one is equity support. A dedicated 10,000 crore SMA growth fund has been announced announced in the budget, which is going to be very important. Second one is top of the self-reliant India Fund 2021 with 2,000 crore rupees. Okay, so additional 2,000 crore rupees have been given to top of the self-reliant India Fund. Okay. Second pronged strategy is professional support to these MSMEs. Government to facilitate professional institutions to develop corporate mitras, especially in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities where these MSMEs are largely located, to help MSMEs to meet compliance requirements at affordable cost. Then the third strategy is liquidity support through trades. Okay, mandate trades as a transaction settlement platform for all the purchases from MSMEs by central public sector enterprises, serving as the benchmark for other corporates. So in this way, the MSMEs can realize their payments early and without any conflict. For that reason, trades platform is there. Okay. Then introduce a credit guarantee support mechanism through CGTMSC for invoice discounting on the trades platform. That is another initiative. Then linking GEM with the trades to encourage cheaper and quicker financing. Okay, you see, GEM is it is a platform where all the government related procurement has to happen on this platform only. Okay, government e-marketplace. Okay, now I think it's a GEM 4.0 is running. So it's a GEM platform is linked with the trades. Okay, then trades receivables as asset-backed securities to develop a secondary market and enhance liquidity and settlement of transactions. So in all these ways, support is being provided to MSMEs sector. Okay. So tax proposal, one tax proposal is removal of the current value cap of 10 lakh per consignment on courier exports has been removed. Okay. So within the manufacturing, within maintaining high growth rate, second area that is focused is renewing the emphasis on service sector. You know very well, service sector is the largest contributor to GDP. So second area that is focused is apart from manufacturing, service sector. So service sector, high-powered education to employment and enterprise standing committee has been constituted to focus on the services sector as a core driver of Viksit Bharat. Second one is health, that was focused in that upgrade and establishing new institutions for allied health professionals, AHPs, in 10 selected disciplines is going to be initiated. Then care ecosystem, if you see, developing a variety of NSQF, National Skill Qualification Framework aligned programs to train 1.5 lakh multi-skilled caregivers. Medical tourism was also focused on schemes to support states in establishing 5 hubs for medical value tourism in partnership with the private sector. That was also announced. Ayush, 3 new All India Institutes of Ayurveda, then upgrading the Ayush pharmacies and drug testing labs for higher standards of certification ecosystem, and upgrading the WHO Global Traditional Medicine Center. These were the initiatives that were announced. Orange economy, you see, setting up of AVGC content creator labs in 50,000 secondary schools and 500 colleges has been also announced. Then if you see the area of design, setting up of a new National Institute of Design through the challenge route in the eastern region of India. Okay. Then sports, Khelo India Mission, integrated talent development pathway, then systematic coaching development, then integration of science and technology and development of sports infrastructure. Okay, then if you see the initiatives in education sector, 5 university townships in the vicinity of major industrial and logistical corridors has been announced. A girls' hostel in higher education STEM institutions in every district is going to be established. Then third initiative within education is setting up of upgrading of 4 telescope infrastructure facilities. Okay. Then you see the further initiatives in tourism, setting up of a National Institute of Hospitality as a bridge between academia, industry and the government. Pilot scheme for upskilling 10,000 guides in 20 iconic tourist sites. Then National Destination Digital Knowledge Grid to digitally document all the places of significance. This initiative has also been announced. Further, many other developments are there to develop ecologically sustainable mountain trails, then turtle trails and bird watching trails in selected states. India to host the first ever global Big Cat Summit. Then develop 15 archaeological sites into vibrant experimental cultural destinations in this Rakhi Gadi, Adichandaluru, Varanasi, etc. Several places are, all these important places are there. Then finally development of Buddhist circuits in northeast region also, including all the 8 northeastern states. Okay. Towards this also some tax reforms have been announced to boost the service sector. Some of them are clubbing services under single category of information technology services within a safe harbor margin of 15.5%. Second one is safe harbor threshold for IT services increasing from rupees 3,000 crore to 20,000 crore rupees. Another tax rule was approval of safe harbor for IT services by an automated rule-driven focus. Another one was continuation of safe harbor for a period of 5 years at the company's choice, etc. Along with that, many other tax rules or reforms have been announced for the service sector also. Okay, right. Then the next area is financial sector. Okay, financial sector also within the service sector, the financial sector is focused. Okay, you see, service sector is the second subcomponent in maintaining the growth. In that, financial sector is one important area. Complementarily, the economic survey also focused or said that financial sector within the services sector is one of the important contributors for growth of our country. Okay, so for financial sector, setting up of a high-level committee on banking for Viksit Bharat to align India's next growth phase has been announced. Then some initiatives were incentive of 100 crore for single issuance of municipal bonds of more than 10,000 crore rupees. Current scheme under Amrut will continue. Then restructuring Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electrification Corporation, this has been announced. Then a comprehensive review of the Foreign Exchange Management Act, FEMA. Then introduction of market making framework and total returns swaps on corporate bonds. Excuse me. So these were the some of the initiatives that were announced for the financial sector within the service sector. Okay. Then similarly, there are tax incentives for financial sector also, that is raising the STT on futures from 0.02% to 0.05%. Okay. Tax has been raised, tax on futures has been raised. Okay, maybe to discourage the people in doing lot of future trading. Okay. STT on options premium and exercise of options to be raised to 0.15% from a rate of 0.1% and 0.125% respectively. Maybe this is also to discourage trading on or discourage frequent trading in options and futures. Okay. So within the maintaining growth, the third area that is focused is increasing the farmers' income by enhancing productivity in agricultural and allied sector. So third component within the first pillar that is focused is agriculture. So how it is going to be focused? Okay. Viksit Bharat, it will start Bharat Vistar. You see, integrating agri-stock portals and the ICAR package on agricultural practices with the AI system, that is going to be done. Then related to sandalwood, focused cultivation and post-harvest processing will be focused to realize this potential that is there in sandalwood cultivation and sandalwood based products. With respect to fisheries, integrated development of 500 reservoirs and Amrit Sarovars, strengthening fisheries value chain in coastal areas and enabling market linkages for startups and women-led groups together with the fish FPOs, farmer producer organizations. That is the initiative announced for fisheries. Then a dedicated program for Indian cashew and cocoa. This is to boost engagement and relevance by aligning training with the employee roles. Then supporting high value agriculture. How this is going to be done? Coconut promotion scheme to increase production and enhance productivity. Then Indian cashew and cocoa programs have been announced. Okay. Then animal husbandry. Support entrepreneurship in the sector to facilitate job creation in rural and peri-urban areas. Loan linked capacity subsidy support scheme for establishment of veterinary and para-veterinary colleges, then veterinary hospitals and diagnostic laboratories and breeding facilities in the private sector. In this way, animal husbandry is going to be supported. Then finally, dedicated program for horticulture has also been announced. It is going to rejuvenate old, low-yielding orchards and expand high-density cultivation of walnuts, almonds, and pine nuts. These are high-value crops. So in this way, the government wants to revigor the agriculture sector and utilize this potential that is there in the agriculture sector for sustaining the high growth rate of our country. Okay. So some tax proposals are also there for the agriculture and allied activity sector, that is fish catch by an Indian fishing vessel in EEZ exclusive economic zone or high seas to be made free of duty, treating the landing of such fish on foreign ports as export of goods. Deduction allowed to primary cooperative societies that are engaged to include supply of cattle feed and cotton seed produced by members. Then allowing inter-cooperative society dividend income as a deduction under the new tax regime to the extent distributed to members, etc. In this way, some concessions were given to the agriculture and allied sectors also. Okay. 1 second. Right. Next, the second pillar is strengthening the foundations of growth. Okay, in that first area that is focused is infrastructure development. You see several initiatives for large scale enhancement of public infrastructure have been taken up in the form of invites, okay, REITs, okay, real estate infrastructure trust, NIFF and NABFID, okay, National Bank for funding infrastructure and development. Then further government said that it is going to continue to focus on developing infrastructure in cities with over 5 lakh population. These cities are tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So if you see public capital expenditure on infrastructure in the financial FY15 means financial year of 2014-15, it was 2 lakh crore. By this financial year, current financial year, or the estimated expenditure, capex expenditure is going to be 12.2 lakh crore rupees. So it's almost 6 times more the government is going to spend on infrastructure development. Okay. You see some initiatives are setting up of infrastructure risk guarantee fund to provide prudently calibrated partial credit guarantees to lenders. Then recycling of real estate assets of central public sector enterprises through setting up of dedicated REITs, that has also been announced. Then establishment of new dedicated freight corridors connecting Dankuni in east to Surat in the west. Then operating 20 new national waterways connecting mineral rich areas, industrial centers and ports. Then you know very well already 100 plus national waterways have been announced. In addition, 20 more have been announced in this budget. Then setting up of ship repair ecosystem catering to inland waterways. Then launch of coastal cargo promotion scheme to increase the share of inland waterways and coastal shipping from 6% to 12% by 2047. Then launching seaplane VGF scheme to indigenize manufacturing of seaplanes. Then 2 lakh crore support to states under SCA scheme, that is special assistance to states for encouraging capital investment. Through this scheme, 2 lakh crore more rupees have been given to the state governments. Then Purvodaya, development of integrated East Coast Industrial Corridor. These were the areas that were focused in the aspect of infrastructure development. Okay. The second area within strengthening the foundations of the growth is the second area that is focused is energy. Okay. Ensuring long-term energy security and stability. So the second area is focused is energy security. First area that is focused is infrastructure. So how we are going to ensure long-term stability of the energy sector? It is a scheme has been announced to adopt carbon capture utilization and storage (CCUS) with an outlay of 20,000 crore rupees, significant amount. Then exemption of BCD on import of sodium antimonate for use of manufacture of solar gas. Then exemption of BCD on on import of capital goods required for the processing of critical minerals in India. Some initiatives have been announced. Exclusion of entire value of biogas in central excise duty payable on biogas blended CNG. So in this way, some tax incentives were given for achieving energy security also. Okay. The third area that is focused in strengthening the foundations of the growth is urbanization, city economic regions. Okay. So what are the initiatives? First initiative is amplifying the potential of cities to deliver economic power of agglomerations. Okay, you know what is agglomerations? Because the city is there, all the things like education, health, industry, etc., all the things will take advantage of this agglomeration coming together. And government wants to leverage that economic power of agglomerations, focus on tier 2, tier 3 cities and temple towns. Growth connectors, 7 high-speed rail corridors between cities of Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bengaluru, Delhi, Varanasi, Siliguri is going to be initiatives which are going to be environmentally sustainable passenger systems. Okay. You see, in addition to that, this many Vande Bharat trains and Amrit Bharat Express trains are also being initiated. Okay. Then third pillar of this development is people-centric. Third pillar of our budget is people-centric development. Means people are going to be the ultimate beneficiaries, or they are going to be the central point of this growth. So how it will be achieved? Building a strong care system or care ecosystem covering geriatric and allied care services. Training of 1.5 lakh multi-skilled caregivers. And second area, focusing on self-help entrepreneur mods. Give me 1 second. So focusing on SHE marts, okay, self-help entrepreneur marts to be set up as community-owned retail outlets within the cluster level federations. Then Divyanjan Kaushal Yojana, providing dignified livelihood opportunities through industry relevant and customized training specific to the differently abled people or disability groups. Then Divyang Sahara Yojana. This is timely access to high quality assistive devices for all eligible people under this. Then supporting Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India, Alimco, to scale up production of assistive devices, invest in R&D and AI integration. Then strengthening PM Divyasha Kendras as modern retail style centers, setting up of a Nimans 2 and upgrading national mental health institutions in Ranchi and Tezpur. Then establishing emergency and trauma care centers in district hospitals. Okay, this is the third pillar. Then fourth pillar is trust-based governance. Okay, this is the fourth pillar of the development, growth and development. So how the government is going to achieve it? By enhancing duty-free period for tier 2 and tier 3 authorized economic operators from 15 to 30 days. Then eligible manufacturer imports to get the same duty deferral facility. Then government agencies will be encouraged to leverage AEO accreditation. Okay. Then transformation of customs warehousing framework into a warehouse operator-centric system with the self declarations, Then extension of validity period of advance ruling, binding on customs from 3 years to 5 years. Then filling of bill of entry by a trusted importer and arrival of goods to automatically notify customs. In this way, some initiatives have been rolled out for the fourth pillar. Then if you see the fifth pillar of the budget, ease of doing business and ease of living. As part of that, several announcements have been made. That's individual persons resident outside India, PROIs, will be permitted to invest in equity instruments of listed Indian companies through the portfolio investment scheme. Then tax awarded by the motor accident claim tribunal to a natural person will be exempt from income tax, and any TDS on this account will be done away with. Then reduce TCS rate on sale of overseas tour program package from 5% and 20% to 2% without any stipulation amount. Then reduce TCS for pursuing education for medical purposes under the liberalized remittance scheme from 5% to 2%. Then TDS on supply of manpower services to be at the rate of either 1% or 2%. Then obtaining lower or nil deduction certificate through rule-based automated process for small taxpayers. Then enabling depositor to accept Form 15G or Form 15H from taxpayers holding securities in multiple companies. Then several other initiatives have been announced, okay, as a part of ease of living, ease of doing business and ease of living. See, some of the initiatives were exemption from minimum alternative tax MAT to all non-residents who pay tax on residential basis. Then tax buyback for all types of shareholders be considered as capital gains. However, promoters will pay an additional buyback tax. Then set off using available MAT credit to be allowed to an extent of 1/4 of the tax liability in the new regime. Then MAT is proposed to be made a final tax. Then exempt BCD on 17 drugs or medicines for cancer patients. Then customs integrated system CIS to be rolled out in 2 years. In this way, several initiatives have been announced. Then the final and the sixth and the final pillar was fiscal matters. So if you see, the 16th Finance Commission has been appointed and it gave its recommendation. Most of the recommendations were accepted by the government. So the government has accepted the recommendation of the commission, 16th Finance Commission, to retain the vertical share devolution of 41%, means 41% of the tax collections are going to be given for the states. Then the provision for 1.4 lakh crore to the states for the financial year 2026-27 as Finance Commission grants, that also has been accepted. These include rural and urban local body and disaster management grants. Okay. Then if you see the area of fiscal consolidation, central government will target reaching a debt to GDP ratio of 50 plus or minus 1% by 2030. Okay, ideally it should be somewhere around 40%, the debt to GDP, government debt to GDP ratio. Okay. Then second initiative is the debt to GDP ratio is estimated to be 55.6% of GDP in the budget estimates of 2026-27 compared to 56.1% in of GDP in revised estimates of 2025-26. So there is approximately 1 point deduction. Okay, roughly 1 point deduction. Then in the revised estimates of 2025-26, the fiscal deficit has been estimated at par with the budget estimate of 2025-26 at 4.4% of GDP. You see, this is in line with the new fiscal prudence path of debt consolidation. The fiscal deficit in budget estimate of 2026-27 is estimated to be 4.3% of GDP. Okay, still not at the desirable level. Ideally, fiscal deficit has to be at 2.5% or 3%. Still, it is there at 4.3%. Last year, it was there at 4.4%. Still, you can say it's reasonable. Okay, compared to the other years, fiscal deficit was hovering somewhere around 6%. So compared to that, you can say it's 4.3% is still reasonable. Okay. So apart from that, we will see some deficit trends. If you see the fiscal deficit, 2022-23, if you see, it was 6.5%. Now in this this year, the budget estimates are saying it is going to be somewhere around 4.3%, reasonable. Then if you see the revenue deficit, it's estimated at 1.5. Ideally, it should not be there. Revenue deficit has to be 0. Means, what is the meaning of revenue deficit? Is that we are unable to earn to meet our day-to-day expenditures. So still it's 1.5%. Okay, earlier it was somewhere around 4%. So compared to that, still reasonable. You can say it's reasonable. Then primary deficit, if you see, what is primary deficit? When you remove the interest payments from the fiscal deficit, what is that is remaining? That is called as primary deficit. So in 2022-23 it was 3%. Now this budget estimates it's going to be somewhere around 0.7%. Okay, reasonable. Then effective revenue deficit, that is going to be at 0.3%. In 2022-23 it was 2.8%. What is the effective revenue deficit? Some of the transfers that were made to the state governments, all of them are considered as revenue expenditure to the central government. You see, in that revenue transfers, state governments are going to use some money as capital expenditure. So if you add that also to primary deficit, then you will get the effective revenue deficit. Okay, so these are some of the deficit figures. You can say they are not at the desirable level, still you can say they are at the reasonable level. Okay, they are at the reasonable level. Then if you see from where the rupee comes, the highest proportion of rupee, 24% of it is coming from borrowings and other liabilities. Very unfortunate. Actually, that shall be coming, if that comes from either from GST or maybe from corporation tax, then you can feel happy, but unfortunately majority of it is coming from the borrowings and other liabilities. Then the second largest contributor to rupee or to the income of government is corporation tax, 18%. Sorry, before that one more bigger contributor is there, income tax. I'm sorry. So income tax, 21% of it is coming from the income to the government is coming from the income tax. Then third contributor is the corporation tax. Fourth contributor is GST, goods and services tax. Then non-tax revenues are there. Then union excise duties, then customs. Then finally non-debt capital receipts. Okay, this is how the rupee is coming to government. You need not remember the exact figure, but you remember the trend, which is the highest and which is the lowest. The sequence will be asked in the exam. So you try to remember the sequence. So rupee goes to where the rupee is going. So highest share is two states share of taxes. Okay, we have just seen devolution to states. Then the second highest is interest payments on the loans and borrowings that we are making. Okay. Then after that, highest expenditure is central sector schemes, expenditure towards the central sector schemes. Then after that, the defense expenditure, it is one of the highest. Then after that, the centrally sponsored schemes, the share of that thing. Then after that, finance commission and other transfers, the next one. Then after that, other expenditures are there. Okay, then after that, major subsidies given by government on food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, electricity subsidy, etc. Then finally, civil pensions, as part of pensions, 2% of government expenditure going. Okay, 2% of the government expenditure is going towards pension. Okay. Then if you see the receipts for the government, if you see the capital receipts, the budget estimates of 2026-27 are 18.1 lakh crore rupees are estimated to be estimated that they are going to come from the in the form of capital receipts. If you see the 2024-25 actuals, it's 16.2 lakh crore rupees. Then if you see the 2025-26 budget estimates, it's 16.4%. Then revised estimates of 2025-26, they were at 16.2 lakh crore rupees. Okay. Then if you see the revenue receipts, Budget estimates for this year 2026-27 are 35.3 lakh crore rupees are going to be the revenue receipts. Then 24-25 actuals were 30.4 lakh crore rupees. Budget estimate of previous year 34.2 lakh crore rupees, but actual revised estimates are 33.4 lakh crore rupees. So if you club this capital receipts and revenue receipts, you get the total budget. Okay. Then if you see the expenditures, the effective capital expenditure, if you see in this budget, it is estimated at 17.1 lakh crore rupees. Then if you see the 2024-25 actuals, it's 13.2 lakh crore rupees. Last year's budget estimate was 15.5 lakh crore rupees. 25-26 revised estimates are, they stand at 14.0. Okay. Then if you see the revenue expenditure, the budget estimate, this year budget estimate is 41.3 lakh crore rupees. 2024-25 actuals, if you see 36 lakh crore rupees revenue expenditure. Previous year's budget estimate was 39.4 lakh crore rupees. This year, last year's revised estimates are stand at 38.7 lakh crore rupees. You see, always in this way, there is always going to be some difference between the budget estimate and revised estimate. You have to keep this thing in the mind. Anyhow, you club this also. Roughly, you will get the size of the budget. Okay, right. Then, if you see some robust economic foundations, then that is trends in net receipt of centers. If you see the yellow pyramids, they will show the tax revenue. The grayish green pyramids show the non-tax revenues. So budget estimates are 28.7 lakh crore rupees estimated to be the center's net tax revenues this year. Then if you see the non-tax revenues, they are estimated to be 6.7 lakh crore rupees. Okay, in that non-debt capital receipts are going to be somewhere around 1.2 lakh crore rupees. So try to remember these figures and try to remember the trend also. You see centers net tax revenue is steadily increasing, and centers non-tax revenues are also steadily increasing for the past 5 years. But you see this non-debt capital receipts, the growth is there, but the growth is not steady. Okay, fluctuations are there, ups and downs are there. So more than the actual figures, you try to remember the trends. In the exam, they will focus on the trends. Okay. Then if you see the total transfers to states and union territories, in 2022-23, it stands at 18.7 lakh crore rupees. Budget estimate for this year is 26.2 lakh crore rupees. The revised previous year's revised estimates stand at 23.4 lakh crore rupees. Okay. Then if you see the expenditure towards major items, transport 5,98,520 crore rupees have been allocated. For defense, next biggest thing is defense, 5,94,000 crore rupees, 5,94,000 crore rupees. Rural development, 2,73,108 crore rupees. Then home affairs means for defense, police and other aspects, 2,55,234 crore rupees. Agriculture and allied activities, 1,62,000 crore rupees. Education, 1,39,000 crore rupees. Energy, 1,09,000 crore rupees. Health, 1,04,000 crore rupees. Urban development, 85,000 crore rupees. IT and telecom, 74,000 crore rupees. Commerce and industry, 70,000 crore rupees. Social welfare, 62,000 crore rupees. You see, ideally the social welfare has to be at the top echelons, but unfortunately it's somewhere around 10th or 11th place. Okay, we will come to that when we will see the critical analysis of the budget. We will come to that. For scientific departments, 55,000 crore rupees have been allocated. Tax administration, 45,000 crore rupees. External affairs, 22,000 crore rupees. Finance, 20,000 crore rupees. Development of the northeast region, 6,000 crore rupees have been allocated. So these are some of the major and important allocations that are going from the budget of this year. Okay, so this is what you have to predominantly know from this budget. Roughly I tried to cover what the Honorable Finance Minister has presented, or what was there in her speech. This document is also available in the India budget website. You can download it and you can go through it. Then maybe you'll things will get much more clearer. Okay, so this is it for today. In the next video, I'll come up with another document, that is budget at a glance. You see, these are the highlights of the budget. Another document is there, budget at a glance. I will try to present that document in the next video. Okay, so this is it for today, and see you next time. Until then, have a very good time. See you next time.